Hey folks, welcome back. Glad you got a chance to come out and see me today. Welcome out to the range and another little unexpected yet pleasurable, hopefully, episode of somewhere downrange. Got a little testing to do today, just a little, not a lot. Not going to be real tedious, but my good buddy Tom over at the Turkey's Opinion sent me a couple 308 magazines to test. And we're going to be testing them, just like I did in a previous video of some P-Mags that I did sometime back earlier this year. Now what he sent me today is the Magpul P-Mag 20 Gen 3, and we got a LANCER Polymag with metal escutcheons that actually help brace and strengthen the top of those feed lips for that magazine. So we're going to run them through the torture test today. Not a lot of torture, but just the regular stuff like we did last time, and see how these puppies compare. We're going to load them up full, going to flip them, drop them, pitch them on different surfaces: grass, hard pasture, hard pack road, concrete. Who knows what we'll come up with. So without further ado, let's take a look at one of these puppies. What do you say? Now this is the P-Mag, and it's 20 round. Says it is the Gen M3, and just looking at it in comparison to the other P-Mags that I have that are 308, this one appears to be just about the same looking critter. Just about. Followers a little stiff, but that spring is pretty stiff too. That might slick up after a little bit. It's got the regular lower bottom well locking cover on it. Got the button, that should slide. And the feed lips actually look to be a little thicker than the last one I had. On the last P-Mag, on the 308 mag that split right back here, these indentations weren't as pronounced. I don't even know if they were there. But the material looks to be a little bit thicker. It might be a lot more stout. And it looks like it's got over travel lock and all that stuff there. Yeah. Might be pretty hefty. We'll find out. And then we got a LANCER mag. It's hell for stout, because even the packaging resists the blade of my combat knife. It's a 25 round magazine. And it appears that it doesn't have the curvature that the P-Mag does. That looks like that comes just straight down. Huh. That's pretty cool, but it is 7.62 by 5.1. Even up the lips on both of them. Yeah, straight down. Now it has an actual metal fitting. That is stamped steel. That is actually not just over molded, but it actually looks like it's the magazine polymer is actually contoured to receive it, and then it's locked in place. So that looks like it's probably going to be pretty nice. Hell for stout. Follower's good and smooth, spring stiff, and the lips on this magazine, it isn't polymer lips over shielded by the metal lips. These are just straight metal lip. There's no polymer under the curving edge of that lip. That might be a good thing. Might not, who knows? We're gonna find out. So stand by. I'm gonna throw some ammunition in these puppies, and we're gonna get out here on our surfaces. We're gonna start out on hard pasture, dirt and grass. We're gonna switch over to a hard pack, and I mean hard packed, gravel road that they use for moving heavy equipment down. And if nothing breaks on that, then we'll switch to something a little harder. Stand by. And we're going to be firing just a few rounds, but we're going to be test fitting these magazines using a full-sized AR-10. It's the Palmetto State Armory 10 multi-cal in 308. Stand by. Alrighty then, we got some ammunition in these magazines. Now I've got the Gen M3 PMag in my belt here. Got it loaded up 20 rounds. Got that Lancer loaded up full, 25 rounds. What I'm going to do is just in place the magazines, make sure they lock right, make sure that you can feed directly from an empty chamber with them. Make sure that they'll let you run a couple rounds through there. Then we're going to drop them. First, we're just going to drop straight out of the mag well from the position of firing, like maybe you didn't get it locked in real well. Let them hit on the hard pasture grass here, and there's more dirt than there is grass. You can tell it's hard. And we've got the road surface over here that we busted a mag on last time. We'll be dropping straight down onto them, pitching sideways, and then after that we'll go ahead and invert the magazines, fully loaded, maybe a few rounds out, and drop them on their feed lips straight down. See if we keep the feed lips, see if maybe feed lips might get bent. We're not going to pitch them off top of a windmill. We're not going to try to destroy them. We're just going to see if we can get them to encounter things that stand a good possibility of happening. So without further ado, let's make a little noise. And like I said, the test weapon for this is the Palmetto State Arms 10 multi-cal. We're going to start out with the Lancer mag first. And I might mention, not only is the feed lip area reinforced with steel and the sides of the top of the mag, the back of the magazine, that's all one solid state piece. And then there's a forward metal piece on the front of the magazine. She ought to be hell for stout. What do you say we find out? Locks in real good. Come on, babies, I don't want to shoot you with you hanging down like that. This bipod is about the most cantankerous son of a bitch I ever met. All right, Lancer's locked in. Hang straight down. Looks kind of cool. Let us feed one real good, didn't it? Let's find out if she feeds ammo. She did good. Bang, bang. Now let's say, something happens and you hit the wrong button. She came out. Now we got the PMag. Whoops. All right, let's find out what we're dealing with. See if anything happened. Stand by. All right, nothing happened, like we figured. Everything on the last video withstood the test of hard pasture dirt. Now let's step out here on a hard surface and see if we can bring about any change in that. See what we find out. Starting with the Lancer mag again, we're going to drop straight out of the bottom, let it hit on its butt, see what happens. Same thing with the Gen 3 PMag. Stand by. All right, no issues. Everything looking good still. That's a drop on hard ground. They didn't like this stuff the last time, especially the PMag. Let's step out there on the hard surface again. This time, we're going to pitch sideways instead of dropping straight down. Probably going to be better for the mag than it would be to drop straight down from either direction. Let's see what happens. Let's find out, shall we? All right, once again, no issues. Lower cover caps are staying in place. They're locked good and tight. Feed lips, no bends, no breaks. No faults on them so far on either magazine. Yeah, let's try a little something different, what do you say? Start out with a Lancer again. You know, sometimes you're not out there doing your thing all by yourself. Sometimes there's a few of you around. You drop a mag or whatever and you're having to move and shoot and move and shoot and other people are having to move and shoot. Somebody might step on your mag. Wonder if they can withstand. Now I'm telling on myself, 275 pounds of human man stomping on them while they go by. Let's find out. Once again, we'll do the sideways pitch. It's kind of a halfway straight drop, but oh shit, Clyde, where'd you go? Hey Jim, come on, get over here and cover this asshole. I don't know what's going on. Hey, did you see that thing go by? Oh my God, shoot that bastard. Let's find out. All right, let's take a close look at the mags. No issues yet. Everything looking pretty good. Check these out. Now you can see, hopefully, we're in the shade because it's hot. There's plenty of grime and grunge and nicks on it. She's certainly been taking the punishment. That's on the PMag G3, but the lips are still intact. They still sitting in the right angle. She's been taking a few impacts and whacks here and there, but doing okay. The Lancer, same way. She's showing a little bit of evidence of a little hard service, unlike what you get at a regular range on the bench. But really, doing a damn fine job. Those feed lips are strong. They're hell for stout. She's showing a little bounce around on the bottom there, but that cap, that cover, still good. All right. Let's get a little badass with it. What do you say? Let's subject him to something that could happen, just might not happen all that much. Stand by. Hell, here it comes. Shoot that bastard. Ah, shit. That ammo. Man, what's going on? I don't know. Oh, hell, here he comes. Run! All right, now bear in mind, I do not foresee any magazine company manufacturing their magazines to withstand that. But in a really badass, down and dirty, hostile situation, it occurs quite frequently. That's why the military likes metal mags. Okay, now you can look and see the Lancer on the right is definitely out of service. She got a little jiggle, a little rattle. Oh yeah, the follower likes to got a big ass hole in it. So yeah, out of action. The PMag, on the other hand, has a little dirt in it. Yeah, the exterior is definitely rough as hell, But the feed lip configuration, the strength of them, there's no cracks. I can find no cracks or faults. This bottom piece is snug and tight. Yeah, there's some dings on it, but hell, you'd be dinged up too if I ran you over 5 or 6 times, wouldn't you? So, yeah, what do you know? We're all thinking maybe that Lancer is a little tougher. Now, granted, that was a very hard surface, hard packed gravel road, and maybe, just maybe, this magazine never got flipped on top of a rock that was maybe tall enough to make that hole. But I tell you what, I was kind of hoping that Lancer would hold up better. Oh well. Anyway, the proof is in the pudding, right? Let's go ahead and throw some ammo in that P-Mag and make sure she still does what she is supposed to do. Stand by. Alrighty. Okay. Now there's just 2 things left I want to do. One, that P-Mag. Remember the last time we dropped it on a hard surface, bullets down, about 3/4 full, lost a lip. Let's find out, shall we? Put on my spectacles so I don't miss nothing minute. Yeah, they're still there, good and strong. Dented the hell out of the ammo. The brass took it worse than the plastic did. Okay. Well, that's a good thing. So far, Lancer's getting its ass kicked. Oh, and I might also mention, pure polymer gets run over, compresses, comes back, unless it breaks. Polymer with a metal surrounding goes in, metal bends, metal stays, polymer stays, follower sticks. No bueno. If it didn't have the hole and it was capable of holding ammo, it'd still be stuck. But the proof is in the pudding, or the pudding, T or a D, I'm not sure. Hell with it, I didn't make it up. One thing left to do, make sure this beat up bastard still runs. What do you say? Lock back all the way. I'd call that vindication and redemption for the Gen 3 P-Mag. Stand by for a little after action. Alrighty then. That was fun. I love running shit over. Well, honestly, if I had laid money down on a bet this morning before I came out here as to which one of these mags was going to survive the day, I probably would have said this. Metal reinforced, nice, good, strong, straight strength style design, good hard polymer plastic. I mean, it took everything else. But the one point that actually lends strength to the top of it can bring bad and fault to the sides. That polymer has no real metal reinforcement. It collapsed and came back. Collapsed and came back several times. Followers still work. You saw me shoot a full mag. When that metal gets bent in, because it is metal, it stays. And if it stays, so does the polymer. And when that happens, that follower is foobar. Not going to get past that. Now, it's quite possible if you don't have a big hole knocked in it that yeah, you can pull that spring and that follower out and get something in there and push against the inside, get that metal to bend back out, and you'll be good. Not saying it's completely trashed if it doesn't have a hole in it, but with a hole in it, yeah, it's, and maybe you could clean the pieces out and put a little Flex Seal in there or something. Who knows? I think I could make it operate. It would just be structurally unsound and weak. But you might still get it to work. I've seen stuff in third world country jungles that looked a lot worse than that, and they're still killing people with it. So, honestly, the PMAG got some vindication. We dropped her on her lips, we dropped her on her butt, we threw her on her side, and we even hit her with a big old chunk of metal several times, albeit with the rubber end of it. But she still ran, so we learned a little something new today, but it appears to me that the difference in the Gen 1 and the Gen 3s is quite demonstrable. There's a big word for you. Yeah, we saw it in action. This magazine's still viable, still usable, still works with no deficiencies. The Lancer, on the other hand, well, like I said, you might could make it work, but you'd have to do something to make sure that the polymer around that hole stayed there. Okay, folks, well, I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. I hope you had fun watching it. And I'm going to go ahead and enjoy the rest of this sunshiny day. Right now it's shady, and that's a good thing. I'm going to go home and enjoy it in the AC, because although it is a cooler day, it's only got to get a high of about 90 out here. There's absolutely no wind, about 85% humidity because it rained this morning. This old boy don't like that stuff. Reminds me too much of the third world country jungles I've been in. Well, I hope you folks had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming out and visiting with me. Feel free to leave some comments, good or bad. And hopefully I'll get something else lined up for you here in the next couple of days. It ought to be pretty fun if things go the way they're supposed to go. And I'll be seeing you folks pretty soon, somewhere. Downrange. Bye.